Yeah, I remember that potbelly stove in the winter time.
Yeah.
And
It had coal in it, and we had a pile of coal outside
Yeah.
the end of the house.
right, yeah, burned coal in it. And
And that was your heat.
that was the heat for the house, except for the 3-burner kerosene cook stove.
How cold would it get?
Well, it would get down
Yeah.
freezing pretty often.
And you were sleeping in the living room, right?
No,
No,
No.
we
we were
three
all-
slept in one bedroom.
but I had a separate bed.
Well,
Part of the time, you and Sonny slept in a double bed.
Could have been.
And I slept in the baby bed, because I was still in the 2nd grade.
Oh.
That's funny.
well, and knowing how tall you are, it's even funnier. Because I can just imagine how tall a 2nd grader you were.
Well, it might have been a little further back. But,
But even that they kept you back a year, right?
yeah, they kept me back. In the 1st grade, I failed. So I repeated that grade.
And the girl with the lipstick moved on.
And so then the next year, I didn't pass, I'm sure, but they passed me to the 2nd grade. And so then I failed that one. And
But you stayed in
uh,
because
well,
I think they said in Tulsa they said you're in 2nd grade. You have to be in 4th grade.
oh yeah, that was kind of embarrassing when we were church shopping in Tulsa. We went to maybe 4 different churches, checking them out.
Well, Uncle and Edith, we were actually going to some places where they had been.
Where Uncle Ed and Edith been? Yeah, maybe so. Anyway, we went to this one, and they had their Sunday school by school grade.
Oh,
And
okay.
so
Not by age.
Right. They said, "You're 2nd grade, you're going to this class."
Oh no.
And here they had the tiny little chairs and everything else, and probably with the toddlers. And I was so embarrassed that time.
Well, that must have been your 2nd year in 2nd grade.
Yeah,
Then you spent
yeah.
2 years.
Well,
in
and
1st
I'm
grade and
sure
2 years
you
in
were
2nd grade.
very tall for your age, too.
No.
Well, I probably was somewhat, although
I mean, Mom,
at that
he's like
time,
6'4", 6'5".
there was a time when people at church thought Sonny and I were twins.
Oh, I could see that because wasn't he like 5'9"?
I think so.
Was he that tall? I was thinking 5. How tall are you?
Huh?
How tall are you?
Not now.
I don't know.
Were you 5'8"?
Something like that.
Yeah, 5'7.5" is what I've always
It
heard.
might have been he was 5'9". Daddy was 5'11". But
I wonder why he was so much shorter.
it was yeah, it was kind of hard there dealing with that. And I'm sure when I enrolled, well, the first time when we first moved to Tulsa, we put our trailer into a little Glen Haven trailer park on 11th Street, and we went to Burbank
Yeah,
Elementary.
we weren't there
That was
very
a
long.
brand new school, and we pulled into that park in the summertime, and then Daddy decided that no, that since that trailer didn't have any insulation or anything, it was going to get too cold to live in that for the winter. So that's why we moved away from there. So we moved away from that park, I think, probably in November.
Oh.
So we were just a couple months there in that school, and I loved that school.
Oh, really?
After
Oh.
having gone from Tulsa, Inola, where I hated school,
Mhm.
this school I loved
Oh.
because I had a teacher, Mrs. Shell, who just absolutely, she's ugly as mud, but she was just the sweetest
Oh.
woman, and made me feel special,
Oh.
even though I was a little giant.
Yeah.
And I'm sure she thought I was real stupid.
Oh, I'm sure she didn't.
And but I remember, I think she was kind of impressed with a copy I had made of their book of two ducks, and one of them kind of ducking his head. I copied that in pencil, and she seemed to like that. In fact, I got her to give me a 3x5 school picture of hers. She gave that to me.
Oh my
because
goodness.
That
we had a special thing going.
That was when we were
Aw.
only there for 2 months
Yeah,
or
for
something.
2 months there.
Of course, we moved.
And then we moved to the Elms Trailer Park into those streetcar cabins, and exchanged school to Ross, which then I was still second grade there, but it was, I'm sure what got their attention to skip me past the third grade. I went from the second to the fourth.
What was your age?
And his
Well,
giantness, I'm
there
sure.
was one thing
You wasn't
in the art session. We had a 30-minute art class. I drew a picture, since I'd been following Daddy at work, and everything.
Yeah.
And I drew a picture of a house under construction with the 2x4s and a brace coming across this way,
Oh, wow.
and a man stepping over the foundation through the wall, and you couldn't see his other foot. You just saw the outside foot and everything like that.
Wow.
The teacher grabbed that paper. I said, I'm going to go show this to the principal.
Wow.
And so I think that's what triggered them to think that I had something going on in my head.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so then it was pulling teeth to get Mama to call them. They wanted her to call the school on the phone.
Oh,
Well, she was hard of hearing. She hated telephones,
yeah.
and I had to work on her to get her that they really want you to call them.
Mm.
And that's what it was about. They were going to pass me over the third grade, and
Well, you weren't